All right, going to pick up where we last left off on Star Trek Navajo. The crew of the Navajo is currently in a more of a diplomatic negotiation with the Calvorians, who have decided to open up trade on two mineral resources that multiple parties are interested in distributing or using for themselves. With that, I think we'll pick up um, on board the Navajo with Commander Solak real quick. Where are you currently heading to, Solak?
Uh, just want to check in with the. I just want to check in with the captain real quick. You had asked me, Captain, to look into the grievance that the Klingons had against you.
Yes.
Okay.
And to replicate him a battle. Don't bring it down with you.
Okay.
I want to be ready for a fight. I don't want to start one.
GM, the name of the Klingon in question, I didn't get him in my notes last week.
I'll type it out.
Thank you. Captain, it might even be in your log as well. I think I haven't read your log yet today. House Karath.
Tikal of House Karath.
Solak is going to go to. He'll be on the bridge, and so I guess Solak. Is this where we're entering the bridge, GM, or have I been here for a little while?
You'll be entering the bridge, so I'll just throw
Okay.
your token down here.
All right, sure. I'll walk in, and I'll.
One second, I need to. It's the new Foundry system, so I need to
Yeah,
actually.
I went through the exact same thing when I updated.
Because I've already set the tokens so they don't rotate the character, but they have to be deleted.
You have to redelete. Yep, did the same thing.
Baral is on the bridge. Yep. Okay, there we go.
Solak enters the bridge and he walks up to the commander and he stands before the commander and he says, Commander Baral, I wish to report to you as to what is going on the surface of the planet.
Very well, Commander. Report.
There seems to be a diplomatic incident involving the captain. There is also an incident involving the individuals on the planet as well, the Calvorians. It would seem that First Speaker Valar has had some sort of a reaction to something that he ate, and he had to be taken away immediately before negotiations could continue. However, when the other Valorians came back, this is Envoy Voren and Councillor Bar, I believe, the Klingons seem to have an issue with the captain, saying that he and our delegation should be dismissed from negotiations due to have the captain having wronged the ambassador for the Klingons, a Klingon named Tikal of House Karath.
What is the Klingons' complaint against the captain?
It would seem that the captain's wife was promised to Tikal. So when the captain married this individual, it dishonored him.
Seems like a strange time to bring it up. Would you?
Go ahead, sorry.
Do you think that it's possible they're just using this as an excuse to besmirch the captain to gain an advantage in the negotiations?
I think that is very likely, sir. It would be logical on their part to use that as a tactic. However, I feel that we can logically counter this with simple facts.
You going to find what is your suggestion then, Commander?
The captain has asked me to look into the grievance myself and to find information. My knowledge of Klingon customs is advanced. However, I am struggling a little bit with understanding the logic of it, in the sense that if the person in question, the captain's wife, if she chose the captain over Tikal, I don't necessarily see that as anything damaging to the captain's character. If anything, I would see it as something that would highlight the captain's character. However, Tikal seems to think that it degrades him in some way, so I feel that it is important that I get more information about House Karath, the Klingon female that is married to the captain, and any background information on this Tikal.
That seems wise. Is that the only problems that we encounter down there? Is the captain's wedding causing a problem down there? What about the relationships with the other delegates?
The other delegates are using similar tactics, but they do not seem to be calling the captain's character in question. And out of character, I think that's consistent, right? I think I captured that right.
The Valerians were as well, because
the Valerians were as well. Okay. So he'll say the Valerians seem to be calling the captain's character into question as well, which I found rather curious.
In what way?
Well, I don't have a lot of background with the Valerians, and the Valerians didn't seem to have any specific personal grievance against the captain the way Tikal did. If I were to look at the situation logically, which I am, I would think that the Valerians are, I believe the term is, ganging up on the captain in an attempt to muscle him out and the Federation out of the negotiations. They sense weakness, and they want to strike while the iron is hot.
And the Cardassians and the Ferengi?
They are biding their time. I imagine that they will use similar tactics. The fewer bidders on this potential negotiation, the better for them.
You know, we don't have, at least I don't think we know we have very much connection with the Valerians, but isn't in the last Valerian that we dealt with, wasn't he a criminal of some sort? A smuggler, right?
Hold on.
Or at least he was doing business on a pirate base.
Out of character, which Valerian was this?
Then the guy you originally did a dealing with to get supplies for the Camillon colony was out of Lasara Station, and then you had the incident with Tolan at the station against Vin. Vin is a Valerian.
And Vin was
trader.
Valerian?
Yes, he's a Valerian trader.
Yeah. Got it.
He's actually a prominent Valerian trader. In fact, he actually kind of owns part of the Lasara Station. So
I think Solak would know that. So Solak would bring up and say, actually, Commander, the Valerian that we had contact with, the captain and I, at the station, the one who was attacked by Mr. Tolan, he was a Valerian named Vin. It's possible that that information has gotten back to this Valerian delegation, and they are using that to smear the captain's name.
Very well. Still, see what you can learn about him. You know, we didn't really know the identities of the parties that were going to be involved before we arrived. Now that we know that the parties involved, let's do a little digging of our own.
Yes, sir. And he'll go up here to one of the stations. He'll come over here to the station over here and start to do some research on Tikal and House Karath, and either their dealings with the Federation, or any communications or any information about the wedding that the captain had and how House Karath in particular responded to it. Did they file a complaint? Did they make a challenge? Anything in the records or information that the Klingons share with the Federation on this subject? Because we're still friends.
Let's make this an insight plus con or command, difficulty 2, assisted by these ships and computers. Con.
Insight and difficulty 2.
Yes.
I'm going to use my determination for this.
What value?
Well, we have the ship assisting us.
Don't forget, you know, if you are keeping track of every time you use determination, you could also do a callback to gain a point of determination, too.
Yeah. I haven't really used my determination. This is the thing. I really rarely have used my determination whenever we played, and I'm trying to make a point of using it more. I guess the question here is, we got the ship assisting us. I think I'm going to use it. I actually want to build up some momentum because I want to use some momentum for some things. So I'll use my determination, and the value is information is power.
Okay.
All right. So I think between using the determination and the ship assisting, Captain and Knox, do you think I need any more dice? I think that's enough.
How much momentum do we have?
0.
0. How many dice are you throwing on this with the determination?
Be throwing 2 plus the ship. And the ship is, what's the ship using again, GM?
Computers con.
Computers con. Yeah. And I'm using a determination.
So the determination is you're going to have one of those 2 dice is going to be an automatic crit success. So you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
Whether or not the rest of the dice succeed or not, it will be sort of momentum gain for you.
That's momentum gain. Yeah. It's basically to see if I can use additional die to gain more momentum. But I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine unless you need to buy something with threat to get a reroll.
I'm basically wanting to get, just so you know my strategy here a little bit, I'm basically wanting to get more momentum so that I can utilize walking encyclopedia more in this particular adventure. If knowledge and information is going to be critical for us, then I want to utilize that a bit more. That's my thought.
Well, give her a whirl there, XO.
All right.
I mean,
I don't know if I've got a focus here, GM, for this. And actually, I'm trying to see if I can find my focuses again.
It's in the trade section.
Yeah, I found it. I don't have a focus.
No, you
don't. So am I rolling 2 die and then using determination value, or am I doing 1 die?
So when you do the perform task, you'll just click on using determination value or using determination / value. You just check that mark and then you leave it 2 dice and hit roll.
And it will roll.
It'll roll 1 dice. You'll see 1 dice roll on the screen, and it'll automatically show.
Okay.
Yeah, the dice roller works as it should now. So, unfortunately, you didn't get any momentum, but you did succeed.
I like the little picture of the little Navajo and the roll thing. That's cool.
And while he's doing that, Captain, the idea that you gave me is to look into more information about the house and about the Klingon himself. And
yeah, I want to verify his story.
Basically verify that he said that he was dishonored by you taking, what's your wife's name? I guess that's my question to you.
Lady Morana.
Lady Morana.
But, you know, it just... There was a very un-Klingon act, very un-Klingon-like of Tikal.
Yes.
If I had truly dishonored him, I'd have already needed that batleth.
Yeah, he would have challenged you.
Yeah.
Because he can't live in a dishonorable way. Yeah.
And that kind of political maneuvering is dishonorable, really, among those Klingons.
Yeah. That was my thought as well. I just wanted to double check on that before I started coming back and saying this is inconsistent with Klingon behavior.
Sorry, spelling. I'm confirming.
Take your time. Don't worry about it. As the information comes up on the console, Solak calls over to the commander and says, "Commander Baral, the information is coming up on my console right now regarding the Klingon.
Any
Based on
conclusions so far?
Based on this information, Tikal is the first son of Karath of the House of Karath. He was set to marry Marana of House Morvek. The betrothal was cancelled, and House Morvek gave concessions to House Karath to appease them. This would suggest that this cancellation potentially happened before the captain's involvement with Lady Marana. I will have to check on this further to see if that is the case. If so, that would make House Karath's issue with the captain rather even more illogical than before.
Illogical is not the word I would use, Commander. Keep digging.
According to my additional query, this cancellation of the betrothal happened 10 years ago.
And when exactly was the captain married?
I do not believe it was 10 years ago, Commander. I believe the captain was fairly recently married. Incidentally, Commander, regardless of these facts, which would seem to discredit what Tikal is saying, it is unusual for Tikal to act this way. If he felt that the captain had dishonored him, it would be Klingon tradition for him to challenge the captain in single combat and kill him. For the captain to remain alive during this time is an even greater dishonor to Tikal than the actual initial dishonor.
Well, that makes sense. I don't know a lot. I don't know that much about Klingons, but the marriage had to have happened a long time ago. With the scuttlebutt on the ship is that the captain has a young son, yes?
Solak goes back to the console, and Solak is not one to pry into the personal relationship of people like the captain, but he punches in some numbers to find out what information has been entered in the computer about the captain, and like when the captain found out that he had been married and when his son was born, etc. And how that timeline matches up with this information here. And out of character, has the captain out of our sessions, has he talked to Solak about his marriage and his son and everything like that?
No, because Sola doesn't seem the kind of he doesn't seem like Spock to
No.
curse.
Yeah, they're colleagues. They're not friends, sort of thing. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Sola doesn't fish.
No, he cooks fish, but he doesn't fish. He could fish if you want to. The query comes up that the son was born 10 years ago.
About
10 years ago. Solak puts in the query, when was it? He asked the computer, when was the captain married to Lady Morana of House Morvek?
data not found.
Interesting. Computer, correlate following hypothesis. Provide percentage of whether or not this could be accurate. Timeline for supposed dishonorable action on the part of the captain towards House Karat as to whether or not his marriage to Lady Morana would have caused the betrothal being canceled.
I would think if she married someone else, that would pretty much break the betrothals, Commander Solak.
True. But we don't know when they were married.
The time frames are fairly close to one another. Does the record from the do the records from the Klingon Empire show why the betrothal was broken?
Computer, do we have information as to why the betrothal was broken 10 years ago?
All information displayed shows that the betrothal was broken between the two houses. Can't talk. Was broken mutually, and a gift was provided from House Morvek to House Karath. The reason was not stated.
So, like, how much do you know about Klingon culture? If they were, it seems to me, it makes sense to me that if the betrothal was broken mutually and a gift was accepted, then
there would be no dishonor.
Tikal would have no rightful claim, which would explain why Tikal has never pressed his claim against the captain before.
Indeed. The only thing that I could think of in this context is if there was new information brought to light that was not given to House Karath at the time of the arrangement. For example, the birth of this child.
I still have to wonder if this is really Tikal's problem. Why does he wait 10 years to satisfy honor and then do it in a way that, if I'm right about how Klingons do things, wouldn't satisfy our honor anyway?
No, it would mean that for 10 years he has been dishonored. It would be customary in Klingon culture for him to take his own life in that time frame, or to try to take the life of the captain. since he has attempted to do neither during that period of time, it would suggest that his intentions Tikal's intentions presently are not genuine.
Well, this information the captain will need for sure.
The only
Out of
other thing I can think of here, sir, is that if this child that was born happened prior to the arrangement made between the two houses, and Tikal recently found out about this child, that would give him grounds for an issue with the captain.
No telling, but this is certainly information the captain will need. Of course, if the captain chooses to press to call on the matter. Well, you've known the captain longer than I have, Commander Solak. Can he handle himself in a duel?
I do not know this Tikal and his combat ability. The captain has shown himself to be adequate in combat situations. It would depend upon the situation. You do remind me, though, he did ask for me to replicate a Klingon bat'leth if needed.
Well, at least he plans on being prepared. Have you learned anything about the Valerians yet, or the other delegations?
Entering that information now. So Solak would like to do another query into the system. This would be about whether or not the Valerians have filed any sort of formal protest or issue with the Federation after Vin was assaulted by Tolan in the presence of two Federation officers.
This will be an Insight plus Commander Con difficulty 2, assisted by Computers Con.
Insight Con difficulty 2. Please take a threat, and I will get a third die. I will roll. And there's the momentum I was looking for.
Nice roll, Solak.
Gain 3.
So, So from the Klingon side, we've got there was a marriage between the two. It was mutually agreed to be canceled. A gift was exchanged, and that was it. Nothing else. 10 years passes. This Tikal shows up here at this negotiation and says that Perron dishonored him because of this marriage, even though the marriage was all good 10 years ago. Or the cancellation of the marriage was good all 10 years ago. Tikal doesn't call into question, he didn't call into question the honor of Lady Morana. He didn't do that. He specifically called into question the honor of Perron.
You mean Perron?
Yeah. He called into, he said that Perron dishonored him.
It seems like Tikal is doing something very un-Klingon-like.
Very.
That one I think we've got a pretty good firm understanding of.
It could very well be possible that everyone else is just seeing blood in the water.
Yes.
But I feel as if there's going to be a data dump coming soon. Boy, not an exposition dump.
Exposition zone. And oh, is there ever one? Thank you, GM. There is a transmission from the Federation Council. Councillor Terrell, representative of Boraris 9, Starfleet Command, Admiral Layton, stardate 48864.4, subject, formal protest regarding USS Navajo incident. This states, to whom it may concern, through both Valerian diplomatic envoys and official trade representatives, that Captain Perron of the USS Navajo allegedly assaulted Valerian trader Venn during a recent negotiation session. Such behavior, if confirmed, represents not only a violation of Starfleet diplomatic standards, but a dangerous affront to one of the Federation's most sensitive commercial partners. Commander, this is, of course, inaccurate. I was present during the incident. Uranus 9 has long maintained mutually beneficial relations with the Valerians, especially concerning the trade of rare isotopes critical to the Federation's starship operations. Any perception of Starfleet officers may act with hostility or disregard towards Valerian merchants threatens the stability of these agreements. The Valerians are not people who easily forget perceived insults, and this incident risks inflaming tensions at the time when the Federation can ill avoid such instability. I am filing a formal protest against Captain Perron's conduct and respectfully demand that Starfleet Command launch full inquiry. Furthermore, I urge that Captain Perron be temporarily relieved of all diplomatic negotiation duties involving Valerian representatives until such an investigation is complete. The good name of the Federation and the trust of trading partners depends upon swift, decisive action. Respectfully, Councillor Terrell, Federation Council, Polaris 9.
Well, that would explain the investigators on the Navajo recently.
Yes, it would.
And seeing as how we were assigned in this mission, I would assume that Captain Perron was cleared of the charges, as he should have been.
That would be very logical. Could this information have not gotten to the Valerian diplomats?
Perhaps this particular Valerian has chosen to not remember it.
Do we have an official notification from Starfleet Command Commander that says that the captain has been cleared of any wrongdoing?
Not that I'm aware of, but such a notification would have gone to the captain. If he had not been cleared, he would have been relieved of command, and I'd be down there. Prophets forbid.
He wouldn't be relieved of command. Sorry, out of character. He wouldn't be relieved of command. They're saying they're temporarily relieved of all diplomatic negotiation duties involving Valerian representatives. So yeah, you're right. Her character would be down there, and he'd still be in command of the ship. It would seem then that either the Valerians are not representing the truth well on the planet, or this information was not available to them at the time.
Well, that seems like two quivers we can put in the captain's bow. 2 arrows in the quiver, bows.
2 arrows in the
Quiver.
quiver. 2 arrows in the quiver.
I guess that's what happens when you try to use another people's cliches.
Indeed. With your permission, Commander, I would like to relay this information to the captain.
Well, before doing so, shouldn't you see what you can dig up on the Cardassian and the Ferengi representatives?
Very well. And he does that as well. He looks up information about the Cardassian and the Ferengi ambassadors who were at the attending the event. This is more general information, GM, just like who they are, what families they are associated with, and
What they used to attack the captain?
is there any information they could use to attack the captain with?
I'm gonna say right now you can't really get anything from the Cardassians because you don't really have access to their, systems.
Yeah.
And the Ferengi, you're probably not gonna be able to dig up anything either. That might require more finesse. Talking to both parties on anything like that.
Solok relays that to the commander. Insufficient data, Commander. We do not have access to any additional information from the Cardassians, and information with the Ferengi is light at best. We might be able to learn more by engaging in conversation with them.
Well, that makes sense, and I don't know if the captain remembered to bring his coin purse with him.
We could replicate some gold-pressed latinum, but I feel that the Ferengi would realize that it is replicated latinum and not real latinum.
Yeah, that would probably end our severely damage our reputation with the Ferengi.
Then I will notify the captain of this information. Solok goes over to his other panel, and I don't know if you want me to chirp down to the to the captain right now, GM, or are we going to switch scenes?
So you beam me back down, or you're just gonna inform me?
I thought I would just call him on the communicator.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
Solok to Captain Ferrone.
Ferrone here.
So rather than going all through it, Solok explains to you the information that he found out about the wedding, and that it was mutually agreed to be suspended, and that a gift was extended from from Lady Morana's house to Call's house, and that he feels that the Valerians are upset with him because apparently this Counselor Tyrellian Giral of Boranus 9 is saying that the captain assaulted Ven and not Tolan on that station, and that because of the captain being able to go down to the planet and be the representative of the Federation has clearly cleared him of that. And either the Valerians are not aware of that, or the Valerians are aware of it and are not being truthful.
Well, that's good information.
Would you require a replicated bat'leth, Captain?
Not yet. I mean, have it ready. Maybe have the transport chief ready to send it to me if I need it. But I just need to be ready to defend myself. I'm not looking to start a fight.
Do you require me or any additional security officers to beam down to the planet with you?
No, bringing more security will be a sign of weakness of the Klingon. Make it look like I have something to hide.
In any case, Captain, this is the best that we could do at this point in terms of additional information. I could endeavor to learn more in some capacity, but right now I think I have reached a dead end.
Well, in that case, come on back down. Your insights are generally valuable to me.
Acknowledge. I'll be transporting down in a moment. Solok out. Prior to Solok beaming down, he asked engineering to replicate a batleth, and they've got it there in the transporter room for Chief Cox to beam down at any moment.
Okay. 2 momentum because I feel like this is a trait creation here. So either 2 momentum
Oh, a trait.
or you can roll for it.
You know what? It was an order from the captain, so I guess I'll eat the momentum and do that.
Okay.
The trait is batleth at any moment.
Batleth at any moment.
Batleth at the ready.
Emergency batleth.
Batleth at the ready.
Batleth at the ready.
Yeah.
So Locke walks up to the captain and knocks and says, I take it there has been no change since I left.
It's been quiet. I think they're still waiting to see what's going to happen to their minister.
Captain, while we are waiting, Commander Burrell made the suggestion that we might want to potentially engage the Cardassian and or Ferengi delegation to see if we can get any information from them, to get a sense of what are they even here? Yeah, they're here in the room. What
I'm fixing my token. Sorry.
What their feelings are about the negotiations.
No, it's reasonable. We'll do it, but we'll do it in play. I don't know that. Let's just say at the moment, I think everything I do is going to be under a microscope. If I go around talking to people individually and alone, might give the impression that I'm trying to curry favor.
True. GM, none of the delegates are talking to each other, right? They're all just sort of huddled in their own little groups, right?
You actually see the Ferengi approach the Valerian delegation. And they start whispering to each other.
This is a diplomatic endeavor, Captain. Engaging in diplomacy, small talk is a common occurrence in diplomatic functions.
Then do you recommend that I go talk to the Cardassians and see what their problem with me is?
I do not think it would hurt. If anything, they would just simply tell you that they are not interested in talking to you, and we would be right back to where we are right now. And I do not recommend that you start talking with the Klingons yet, sir.
They seem quite angry with me.
Indeed.
Or at least that particular one does. Well, let's go say hi to the Cardassians then.
Ah, Captain Perron.
Bro,
And
Farrak?
I'm assuming you're over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going over there too.
Allow me to introduce my Chief of Engineering, Commander Solak, and my tactical officer, Lieutenant Knox.
He gives a slight bow, nod.
Vulcan salute.
And what can I do for you, Captain?
Well, I've come over to meet the other side. I find it interesting that the Cardassian Union seems to want to jump on the bandwagon with these others that wish to smear my reputation. I have been nothing but cordial with the Cardassians since the war. I've even helped out a Cardassian ship or two.
Yes, but you did allow one of our vessels to be destroyed, and the majority of its crew to be killed and injured. You could at least warn them.
Warn them.
But
Telling me that Cardassian ships don't have sensors as good as or better than any Federation vessel has?
could at least warn
Captain's
them of a
playing on that
cloaked vessel.
Cardassian sense of
But you were already engaged with a cloaked vessel.
I had no proof that that particular vessel was in the area. And frankly, the fact that it could fire while cloaked was an unpleasant surprise to everyone involved, except for the Orion that pulled the trigger.
Indeed.
If the Cardassian Union's going to have a problem with somebody in that incident, it should be with the Orion pirate that destroyed destroyed your ship. Like I said, I have gone out of my way to aid Cardassians in distress when the opportunity arises itself.
And Cardassia thanks you for that, Captain. I offer no ill will towards you, Captain. I am merely stating the facts of the matter.
Are you telling me that it is the position of the Bacta Council to oppose me in this matter rather than cooperate?
Captain, we are not. The Calvorians have been a isolated species for a century now. The fact that they're willing to engage in negotiations is quite precious. And since the Calvorians border Cardassia, it is in the best interest for all Cardassians to foster goodwill with the Calvorians. So if you don't mind me speaking, Captain, here, what business does the Federation have with the Calvorians? Why are you even here?
The minerals that they're offering would be valuable on one of our newer colonies. Would make the construction and build up much easier. And we like to get to know our neighbors. Surely you know that about the Federation by now.
Yes, I understand, Captain. But do the Calvorians understand that?
If they don't now, they will in time. But this discussion is more about my government and yours than it is about the Calvarians. This is an opportunity for our people to do something together, to reinforce the bonds that we forged when we made peace with one another. I find that has great value to both of our people, especially in light of the terrorist actions that are still going on in the Badlands.
Yes.
People on the ground like you and me need to do everything we can to keep the peace, while there are people out there trying to destroy the peace.
And is it not Federation citizens, former Federation citizens and former Starfleet officers that are part of the Maquis in waging war against us? Well, terrorist activity, hurting innocent Cardassian civilians and infrastructure.
Some, maybe even most of the members of the Maquis are former Federation citizens, yes. That does not mean that they're thought of with any fondness in the Federation or in Starfleet. They are criminals. They'll be hunted down like criminals.
Perhaps you should have done that when you had Mr. Tolman aboard your ship.
Oh, don't imagine for a moment I didn't think about it. But I balance the lives of 500 innocent civilians against capturing one guy I'll catch later.
500 innocent civilians that were part of the Maquis, Captain.
They were not all members of the Maquis. They were still 500 people that were being held captive and experimented upon. 500 lives is far too high a price to pay just to capture one terrorist. I would have done the same thing had it been Cardassian lives.
Perhaps. But those 500 lives, according to Gul Kiset, were part of the Maquis. Do you hold the word of one Maquis member over a Cardassian Gul, Captain?
I'd say the fact there are not enough facts and evidence. But again, it's 500 lives. Men, women, children. I couldn't stand by and let them be used for somebody's science fair project. As far as Mr. Tolan goes, I'll get him. I'll make it a personal mission of mine to track him down and bring him to justice.
I duly hope so, Captain.
But it's men like that tearing our peoples apart that's going to make this difficult. I have no interest in stopping the Cardassian Union from making an arrangement with the Calvorians in this matter. All I ask is that you don't interfere with the Federation making the same arrangement.
And what if the Calvarians only wish to deal with one of the parties that is here, Captain? Could you live with that?
That would be disappointing, and we both would put our best offer forward and let the Calvarians decide. Well, those offers should be based on trade, not on a campaign to smear one man's reputation. Truly, Greltheric. Jumping on the bandwagon to smear my name seems, well, it seems much more like something a Romulan would do than a Cardassian. I would think the Cardassian people are far too proud to stoop to such levels.
Captain, as I said before, I was merely stating the facts at hand to the Calvarians. They should be aware of who they're dealing with. Would you not agree?
I agree. But they're not dealing with me, Captain Perone. They're dealing with the Federation. I just happen to speak for them today.
Then I suggest that your actions prove otherwise, Captain. If you are the voice of your people, then you should act like it.
I am. That's why we're having this pleasant conversation. Isn't it better that we talk these things through?
And what do you propose, Captain?
All I ask is that we let these negotiations rest on the materials of trade, the costs and benefits to all parties involved, rather than the reputation of one old starship captain. Particularly an old starship captain whose reputation is being unfairly dragged through the mud. That's all I ask. I don't think I'm asking too much, am I?
Captain, one's reputation is everything, even on Cardassia. One should do a better job of showing the better side of oneself. If you excuse me, Captain, before the Calvorian delegation returns, I need to convey with my assistant here. Good day.
Good day. Captain will go back to the dedicated Federation of Space.
And Solak will ask, do you feel that you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish there, Captain?
We'll see.
Well played, though, sir.
Yes, you did appeal to his logic, which was refreshing.
Unfortunately, it depends on how much of logic there is that he's willing to subscribe to.
I find that Cardassians are rather practical. It is practical of him to not get too involved in what the Klingons are doing.
True. You're always good at figuring stuff out. And you got to make my grandmother, proud when you do her shepherd's pie.
It's actually a side note. It's a diplomatic function. Is any food being served here?
There is. It's an assortment of different foods. Primarily of ocean variety, different fishes, types of seaweed, stuff like that.
Salak is going to look at the spread of food and look into how it was prepared, how it's arranged, how it's plated, that kind of thing.
And Knox is standing right next to you, doing the exact opposite. She's putting stuff on plate. She's going to experience some of them.
You find some of them are cooked and some of them are raw. You even see one that looks like a small octopus still flailing its tentacles around.
Okay, I won't eat that one. And for caution's sake, I will not go for any of the sashimi or sushi. You never know. There could be. I would assume they kind of planned knowing who their guests were, but I'll go for some of the cooked fish. She'll look at Solak. When at an alien event, don't get too daring with the local food.
That is wise.
Federation dignitaries. Captain Perone, is it? Could I have a moment of your time, please?
Well, absolutely, Mr. Brawl, is it not?
Yes, Guildmaster Brawl, head of the Ferengi Trade Commission. I was hoping to make a lucrative deal with you, if you'd be so kind to listen to my offer, Captain.
I'll listen. What is your offer?
If you are willing to support us, we will be willing to offer a lucrative trade agreement for the mineral rights they're willing to give us. Say 60-40. 40 going to the Federation, of course.
Interesting. So you want me to enter into an agreement that benefits the Ferengi Alliance more than the Federation? Would that agreement come with price guarantees?
Of course, Captain. I am a fair and honest trader.
As all Ferengi are. But I'm curious. Did you have this same discussion with the Valerians?
That is beside the point, Captain. I will assure you, though, that the Ferengi Alliance will honor any trade agreement we have with the Federation. Unlike the Valerians.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say about the Valerians. Do you know them well enough to assume that they would not honor their deals?
I know that the Valerians intend to keep targeting you, Captain. And given your current weak position, I thought you could use some help from us.
I think you'll find, Guildmaster Brawl, that any perceived position of weakness is merely an illusion. That's smoke and mirrors that the Valerians and the Klingons are trying to confuse you with. Well, maybe not you, trying to misdirect the Calvarians with. Perhaps I should make you the same offer. Support me, support the Federation rather, and we'll share in those trade agreements 60-40 towards the Federation's benefit.
Captain, please. Perhaps there's a better economic prosperity here. You have a colony, correct, in the Gemilon system. And your
We
recent
do.
trade deal has ended with the Valerian known as Vin. Is this correct?
I believe he has another shipment or two that he owes me, but I imagine he will not be renewing that contract.
And then perhaps for favoring the Ferengi, give you a very lucrative deal of supplies for the Gemilon colony from the Ferengi Alliance for a modest fee, of course. At a
You're
discount rate, I might add.
You would have to be able to provide me with the same deal that Mr. Venn was offering me at the same rates and the same guarantees. You know the Federation well. We're very particular about where the things we purchase come from.
Oh, but of course, Captain. I shall have those figures drafted up to you with my offer. Is that agreeable?
So the deal would be we would split the mineral rights 50-50, and we would enter into a separate trade agreement that you would replace the agreement that I had with the Valerians.
No, Captain. I will do the 60-40 Ferengi side. And we will give you a fair trade deal for the Gemilon 5 colony.
Well, you can send me your offer. I'm just a captain, of course. I'll have to run it by Federation Council, but terms that unfavorable. I don't know if I can sell that. But I can try.
Then take it up with your superiors, Captain. I look forward to any future negotiations.
Of course.
Good day.
Same to you.
I did not know. Oh, go
Pearl's
ahead.
going to look at his companion and say, "Yeah, that's why I joined Starfleet, didn't go into business."
I would argue that you were most astute in the rules of acquisition, Captain.
As required reading in command school after that thing that happened to Picard.
Well, you were able to adhere to rule number 3. Never spend more for an acquisition than you have to.
I still want to know what deal he struck up with the Valerians. what the Valerians did to
He's
send him our way.
He's covering himself, sir. He's probably offered a couple deals out there. That way, if he doesn't win the contract, he's still in on the game.
Yes, they would walk away from here with something, as opposed to
Exactly.
nothing.
And given the materials, even if it costs them more to get it, they're still gonna do okay selling it.
All very consistent with tactics used by the Ferengi Trade Federation.
Yeah, you just assume a Ferengi's gonna highway robbery you. She said that.
Well, the need to make such a deal with the Ferengi would only really be necessary if our Cardassian friend is right, and that these trade contracts will go to only one group. If the Calvarians are willing to trade with all 4 groups, then the need to reach a deal with the Ferengi is lessened.
I have one one thought here. What if they're watching all this? Meaning they staged. I'm sure it wasn't, but we can't rule out the possibility this was staged, because if you have such an isolationist culture, it might be that they might be very careful about making contact with other cultures. So this could all be a screening process.
That is a reasonable caution. I think it'd be safer to assume that they have listening devices in the room.
So they'll be looking at what everybody's saying, and even if they know about some of the cultures out there, you to really understand a Ferengi or a Cardassian, you need to meet one, right? And watch how they operate naturally. I'll look over at Solok. This fried fish is pretty good.
Interesting. Solok will try the seaweed that's there.
That's good too. She did eat the seaweed.
You take a bite into the seaweed, and it's got a bit of a sweet and salty flavor to it.
Interesting. A sweet consistency, a sweet flavor that I was not expecting.
No, but salty too. We salt our fish on Caldos.
We're eating. Is the captain eating, or is he just watching us eat?
Well, the captain's going to look to the two and say, hey, Mr. Solok, the thing is how the Valerians seem to have it out for me. Why don't you go and open discussions with them, see where they're, see what you can learn about them and their goals. Let's stretch your diplomatic muscles. I'm going to go get something to eat. And Mr. Knox, go with Mr. Solok.
Aye.
Do you immediately walk away?
He does.
Okay. That's what I was hoping you said. Solok just sort of looks at you, Knox, and says, I'm an engineer. Diplomacy is not my area of expertise.
I had to come up with the gifts, it's a logical process. You're seeking a certain outcome or fix.
So you are suggesting that I view this as a problem that requires repair.
Exactly.
Then I shall endeavor to repair as best I can.
And I will be there to help. I'm good at detecting what they call bull crap on Earth.
Solok walks up to the Valerian delegation. He holds up his fingers in the Vulcan salute, and he says, Greetings. I am Commander Solok of the USS Navajo. This is Lieutenant Finley Knox, also of the Navajo. Excuse me.
He puts his plate down. Greetings. I'm
Peace
Markel
and long life to
Doss.
you.
And this is my associate, Tali Wren.
Peace and long life to both of you. I am curious. He's an ambassador, so would he be referred to as Ambassador Doss? Would
No,
Solak know
I
that?
am no ambassador. I am actually a commissioned trader for my people.
Mr. Doss, I am curious to understand the Valerians' interest in the Calvarians and the negotiations that are happening here. This is to better understand Valeria's motives here and to create a dialogue between the Federation and Valeria.
Well, we are here to secure rights to do trade with the Calvorians. Hopefully, it will go beyond just mineral rights.
That would be logical. And it would be beneficial to you and your culture to establish such relations with the Calvarians. I am also interested to know why you and your people seem to have a issue with Captain Perron. Captain Perron is a highly decorated Starfleet officer.
My issue is not with Captain Perot, sir. Well, Commander Solak. However, one of our esteemed traders has, well, spoke out against Captain Perron and his actions. It
You are
makes me a
referring
little alert. It makes me a little leery to deal with or have such a individual dealing with such sensitive matters.
Solak says, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I will be honest, Commander Solak. This isn't the first time that we have tried to have trade dealings with the Calvorians. They are one of our more closest neighbors.
Interesting.
And while their isolation keeps them from dealing with us at times, they get skittish, especially when dealing with uncertainty.
But it would seem, based upon your presence here at this delegation, that there has been a breakthrough in that regard to them, that there has been a more openness from them towards you with negotiations. Is that an accurate observation on my part?
Well, we do hope that's the case. But I
In
think it
regards
would
to
be best for the Federation delegate to withdraw their petition. And if the Federation is wanting minerals from the Calvorians, and we do manage to secure those mineral rights, we will be more than happy to trade with the Federation. While I am not Mr. Vin, I do assure you that I am a much more honest trader than him. In fact, I have several lucrative deals with the Federation already, Commander.
in regards to the incident that you're referring to, I'm assuming you're referring to the assault on Mr. Venn.
I am. Mr. Vin, though, has many friends in many places,
It is my
including the
understanding.
Cardassians.
It is my understanding that a protest was filed saying that the captain had assaulted Mr. Venn at the station.
Yes, one of his ways of getting back.
Would it be helpful to you to know that that information is not accurate? I was present during that particular incident. The captain did not assault or harm Mr. Venn in any way. That was an individual named Mr. Tolan, who is a member of the Maquis.
To be honest, Commander, I could really care less about the incident itself. I have a job to do, and I intend to secure those rights.
And your suggestion here is if those rights are acquired by you, you would be willing to negotiate an arrangement with the Federation.
I would, yes.
What type of negotiation were you thinking of, or what did you have in mind?
I will not say at present, Commander. I do not know what the future holds, so I will not make future promises that I may not be able to keep.
If the Federation were to win this bid, would you be interested in doing business with us?
Perhaps.
What would it take for Mr. Vin to feel better about his relationship with the Federation?
I cannot speak on behalf of Mr. Venn, Commander. Nor do I really care if he is satisfied or not. That's a problem for your captain to figure out.
Is it the position of the Valerian government that the captain has done wrong? Or is this simply a matter between Mr. Vin and the captain?
This is a matter between Mr. Venn and your captain.
I see.
I'm only here on behalf of the Valerian government. If I manage to secure the rights, then I will be the one in position to trade those minerals.
It is pleasing to know that you would be willing to do business with us in that regard.
As I state, I do not engage in petty squabber like some of my other fellow Valerian traders.
That is good to know, and wise of you. It would be more profitable for you to be pragmatic about situations rather than petty. In any case, go ahead, sorry.
Is there anything else, Commander?
No, thank you. This has been a most illuminating conversation. Thank you for your time. Live long and prosper.
You as well.
Talak walks away, and Noxie looks at you and he goes, "How was my repair job?"
No, it was bad. We found out a lot of information, kind of where this guy's at. He doesn't give a crap about what happened to the captain,
But
or
he's
that.
clearly using the incident as a hard play.
That's it, right. This is like a card game. Look, we're all sitting around a pool rather than a table. And, as soon as they come back, we start drawing new cards. But everybody's got their play.
My understanding that card games are often games where you are playing the other person rather than playing the cards themselves.
All right, there's a certain amount of numerical aspects to playing cards for sure. I mean, card counters and all that. But a lot of it's know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to bluff, right?
Know when to bluff.
Right. Like you got a crappy hand, but if everybody thinks you have a winning hand, well, they'll operate like you've got the winning hand.
Solak walks back up to the captain. Is the captain eating something?
The captain is munching on one of those octopus-looking things.
How is that, Captain?
I don't know. How is it?
Is it flavorful for you? Is
It's
it easy?
It's got a bit of a decent flavor. It kind of squirms in your mouth. It's slimy.
And the captain is going to clearly enjoy it in full view of the Klingons.
Right. Because that's like
It's actually
eating
quite
raw.
good, Commander Solak. You should try it. Well, if you weren't a vegetarian, I would suggest you try it.
Thank you. I do not plan to eat that.
Nox will try it.
Okay.
She figures, well, she'll end up in the sick bay, worst case scenario. What'd you do? Eat the alien octopus.
Eat the living alien octopus.
Right. She gets one. It's like their version of Gawk.
Mm. Solak relays to the captain the information that he learned from the Valerians, and he adds, "It would seem that they do not have any sort of personal grudge against you, Captain. It would seem that that is Mr. Vin, and that they are using that information to their advantage, knowing full well that it is possible that Mr. Vin is lying."
Well, at least their motivations aren't hard to figure out. I really wish the Calvarians had made it clearer if this was 4 sets of individual negotiations or if this was a bidding war.
I get the sense, based upon how the Valerians describe them, the Calvarians are very secluded, and that they are only comfortable dealing with one party at one time. So that would be the motivating factor as to why they are wanting to give all of the rights to one party. So logically, it would make more sense for them to diversify their portfolio.
Indeed.
If they were to make a deal exclusively with, let's say, the Ferengi, and something were to happen to the Ferengi delegation or the Ferengi Trade Federation that would jeopardize trade, that would affect the Calvarians much more than the Federation, than the Ferengi.
So, Mr. Solak, I think you hit on if this is going to be a bidding war rather than 4 separate negotiations, and I think you may have unintentionally hit on the key to our pitch.
Since we are not clearly asking for exclusive rights, we sell the brands of the idea of sharing to their advantage and to everyone else.
You're kind of roboting for me. I don't know if that was anybody else or if that's on my end, which I think Discord's dying.
You're all broken here.
I switched to Discord server, so give it a minute.
Sure.
Okay, then I won't log off and log back in because I was getting everybody all garbled.
Yeah, me too. That's why
It's the Discord server that was crashing because it was everybody. So, could you repeat what you said, Sola? Because it was robotic.
And I couldn't hear what you said because it was robotic. That's what I was saying.
No, to the captain. So,
to the captain. Basically, that we're selling the Calvarians on the idea that it would make more logical sense for them to diversify amongst all of us rather than putting all their eggs in one basket.
Yes, well, if they don't wish to do that, your argument that they need that there is a need for diversity is the strongest argument we have as the Federation. We're
And it
not
would be
just the Valerians or the Ferengi or the Cardassians. We are the humans, the Vulcans, the Andorians, the Tellarites, the Bajorans. We are diversity.
That is what we said when we walked in this room.
We're diversity incorporated, if you think about it. But I kind of look. I get their other point of view. On Caldas, there's people who come there because they want that little cabin that nobody's going to ever bother them at, right? So those kinds of people don't really like to deal with other people. So, even though it might be better for them from a financial point of view to diversify, it just may not be something they can do. They don't feel comfortable with having one vector, and all other groups come through that vector might be a more appealing option for them.
So you're an engineer. Tell me, if we were pressed, how quickly could we put a civilian space station, say, at the edge of the Calvarian system?
Solok contemplates that. And GM, I guess he would give the answer that would be the most accurate. So the player doesn't know what the answer to that is, but let's say if it's a civilian space station, it could probably be manufactured and put up within, I would say, a couple of weeks. So let's say 2
No,
weeks.
to put a civilian space station up, like it depends on the size. So if it's a fully functional space station, it could take most likely several years to do.
Because you got to tow it out there. Too.
Yeah.
Or construct it in that particular location. So that's what Solok says. He said it would take several years to complete that, sir.
I'm just wondering if we could allay their fears by building a trade outpost on the edge of their system, then they could just deal with that one trade outpost.
And that trade outpost wouldn't involve, let's say, Federation traders being here on their planet.
Precisely. But it would be an outpost open to not just the Federation, but us, the Valerians, the Ferengi, the Cardassians.
A galactic trade outpost, so to speak.
There was this hermit up in the highlands of Caldos, and you had to go up to a certain hill near where he was at and shout over to his property to get his attention, because if you walked up to it, he'd shoot you.
A safe place, a neutral location is what you're saying.
Exactly.
A neutral place for the various governments to meet and do trade with the Calvarians. I mean, we don't have to make it 5 miles long or anything, but it might appeal to them.
It might appeal to them more than engaging in only one group. I think it is a logical approach.
You come, you meet them there, you cut the deal, and then you leave. Take your trash with you.
We could possibly even reduce costs by coordinating with the various parties involved to build the thing.
Yeah, that's a win. Everybody gets their little piece of the pie. Everybody gets an appointment to come trade. It's a legit idea.
And the Calvarians are already trying to move outside their comfort zone just by inviting all of us here at the same time for this meeting.
Aye.
Having the station would just be an extension of that.
Putting it a little farther away from their home world, hey, it gives them that sense of, I've got a property line and I don't want you crossing it. I got my space.
Very logical, Captain, and very attractive as a trading option.
I think you need a couple different cards for this game, sir. A couple different routes you can play it.
It's always good to have options. Oh,
Yes.
Our hosts have returned.
Apologize with that. Esteemed members from your different world governments, thank you for waiting. I hope all of you enjoyed the food that was provided.
Knox is still eating, so she nods.
It was quite good, thank you. I particularly enjoyed these. Hold the little octopus link. What are these called?
My cat was hitting the keyboard. Sorry.
Because we were talking about fish.
It is an octopus that is found in the depths of our oceans.
Is the flavor natural to the octopus, or was it seasoned somehow before it was served?
It was seasoned. But I am no chef. If you would like a recipe, one could be provided for you.
Well, that would be greatly appreciated. My chief engineer here, he gestures towards Solok, is he enjoys trying out new recipes.
Indeed. Sharing this recipe with me would be most interesting and illuminating to understanding your culture.
I see.
Well, that and I think that my wife would find these quite most excellent. I would greatly enjoy to be able to prepare it the next time I meet with her. And he's just Perot's gonna look at his peripheral vision to see if
as you say, out of
Klingons are-
character. Good one. Good one. Out of character. Very good one.
Knox is eating her food when he says that, and she's like, just her eyes are darting over in that direction without turning her head, because that could turn into a fight. I'll have to use my hors d'oeuvre dish as a weapon.
You can see a slight snarl from Catal at that comment, but he stands up. Esteemed Calvorian delegation, thank you for your food. It was quite delicious. But on that note, since you are willing to start trading, I am told you don't really have the appropriate forces if you wished you could do trade with among the other worlds, that you would need protection. I, Catal of House Karath, will offer aid to the Calvorians and help protect your people, assuming we are able to engage in peaceful cooperation. And he kind of looks to you, Captain.
Oh, I think peaceful cooperation is an excellent idea to call. That is, I'm gratified to hear you say that. But I would like a point of clarification, because there seems to be some confusion among the delegations here. Is this meeting meant to be an opportunity for all to trade with the Calvarians, or is this what my people would call a bidding war? A competition to see who will be granted a contract to trade with your people.
Our people are not used to dealing with outsiders, Captain. I wouldn't say this is well, your terms, as a bidding war, but more as a way to understand all of you and whether or not we are ready to engage in more galactic endeavors.
Then perhaps it would be best if we invited you to ask questions about us. What do you want to know about the Federation, the Klingon Empire, the Cardassian Union, the Valerians, and the Ferengi Alliance? What can we tell you about ourselves?
Did you not provide? Your kind has already provided a document about yourselves. Is the Federation not a galactic power that holds many other member worlds from many different species? Is that not correct?
The Federation does contain a great number of worlds and different types of peoples. We are a very diverse union that manages to live peacefully with one another and with our neighbors.
Then what is there to learn about you now, Captain?
Well, that was the genesis of my question. Because you stated that this meeting was for an opportunity for you to get to know us better.
Indeed, and how you deal with other potential adversaries.
Ah, I misunderstood then. I didn't see this. I did not perceive this meeting as um, an opportunity or an instance where I need to deal with adversaries. What I see in here are 4 potential trading partners. Well, 5 potential trading partners. Not competitors, but collaborators. Each one of our peoples brings together, brings unique gifts, brings unique and varied goods that we might bring to the Calvarian people in trade. As our Vulcan companions would say, it's only logical for all of us to work together rather than to compete against one another.
Eminently logical.
I see. Then perhaps we are mistaken in inviting everyone.
Why do you seem like a peaceful people that wouldn't wish for conflict among your neighbors?
We do not. That's why we remain in isolation.
But it seems that you are ready to step outside that isolation just a little. Perhaps you're not fully comfortable with welcoming us, welcoming all peoples with open arms, but I see a potential here for your people to get to know the governments of the around the quadrant. Each of the peoples represented here have qualities that you would find beneficial. Why limit
I,
yourself to just one?
what the captain is saying is that in certain circumstances, knowing a Ferengi is a really good thing, and the same can be said of a Cardassian or a Klingon. That's why we trade amongst each other. Occasionally there have been conflicts, but currently there is open trade to one degree or another, and we all benefit from that. She looks extremely surprised that she just said that.
Yes, it's good to have many trade partners and opportunities. We at the Ferengi Alliance hope to endeavor to help bring galactic prosperity to all individuals.
Well, if there's one group of people that knows about prosperity, it is the Ferengi.
And they have great connections all around the galaxy. Should your people need something that is hard to find, it would be the Ferengis who would know how to find it.
In my limited experience with the Valerians, they are also quite adept at trade. Representative Call, the Klingon Empire, brings forth an excellent point. The Klingons would be very well suited to providing security. And the Cardassians are strong, proud people. They would be useful in that endeavor as well. They would both be excellent trading partners for you. Perhaps instead of making a single deal, I had an idea a few minutes ago. If you're interested in something a little more out of the box than what we're doing here.
And what would that be, Captain?
How about a trading outpost on the edges of your space? A place where your merchants could meet with, well, the peoples of all four of these representative governments. But you would still maintain the privacy of your homeworld.
It's all speaks up. That would be just more of an excuse for Federation expansion.
Well, that could be a legitimate concern, which would be mediated if the Klingon Empire and the Cardassian Union, the Ferengi Alliance, and the Valerians were to help construct and administrate the outpost.
The Valerian.
Then there would be no concerns.
The Valerian speak up. We already have a number of outposts that are near Calvorian space that could easily accommodate a location for the Calvorians to deal trading at. There would be no need to construct a space station. In fact, many of these stations that are nearby are within at least 5 light years, with an easy distance of the Calvorians to trade with other species, an abundant of species, in fact. We have several, even including the Federation, trade there, along with the Cardassians and Ferengi.
But perhaps the Calvarians would be more comfortable with a trade outpost that is administered by more than just a single government. A shared endeavor among our peoples. Human beings, rather than competing with one another to outdo each other, we should be cooperating. It's not about expanding Federation territory, Representative Takal. It's not about monopolizing trade. He looks towards the Ferengi and the Valerians. It's not about anything that would concern the Cardassian Union. It's about sharing the benefits of mutual trade among all of our peoples in a way that the Calvarians would be most comfortable with.
Knox is nodding. for what it's worth.
Cardassian envoy speaks up. I did not want to bring this up in delegation. It is poor form, but Cardassian intelligence has indicated that the Federation have already been surveilling the Calvorians for quite some time. Perhaps this is their way of seducing you. They have done so on many worlds in the past. If you would like a copy of it, I can provide the report myself, and you can validate it at your leisure.
Well, I think we hear the Cardassian Union's response to my proposal. Representative Call, your thoughts?
Who are you speaking to?
The Klingon.
The Klingon Empire is currently allied with the Federation. We would be willing to help so long as the Klingon Empire has a stake and be willing to even provide security for this station if need be.
Guildmaster Brawl.
We would have to think about this. I would have to take this back with my government. You see, having a station constructed would, well, bring opportunities for all. It is quite an expensive endeavor.
That sounds like a maybe from the Ferengi Alliance. And our Valerian representatives. Your perspective on mutual cooperation?
The construction of a station would be, well, a waste. Unless it were to be offered to the Calvorians to run themselves, we'd be willing to help petition a modest donation in its construction. After all, it is in their interest for the station to be constructed. They should have the right to administrate it as they see fit.
Solok says to the captain, sort of under his breath, that is very logical.
It is a point well made. But now that you've heard from all sides on their thoughts on this proposal, I'd be interested to hear yours. He looks towards the Calvarians.
We'll have to consult among ourselves on this. The individual who has the final say is currently indisposed. We cannot make any direct obligations unless a new first speaker is appointed.
Your first speaker's health, and is he recovering?
The healer prince is currently on his way. He was delayed. But a healer here has stated that he is currently in a stable condition. He cannot be treated until the healer prince arrives.
Well, until the healer prince arrives, I would be more than willing to offer the services of my chief medical officer.
I am sorry, that is forbidden among our laws.
I had to offer.
If there is nothing else to discuss, we will talk among ourselves and present it to the first speaker when he awakes.
That seems agreeable to me. Perot looks around the room. Is that agreeable to the rest of you?
The Cardassian. This is not in the interest of Cardassia. In fact, we believe that the Federation have an ulterior motive here. I would ask that our supreme host here take time and deliberate them, and hopefully they will see the truth of of this matter.
There were other parts to it, but
Well, I've done my best to show the Calvarian people who the Federation is. I hope that you'll consider what we've had to say. We are a diverse people that do our best to bring other peoples together. Whether those peoples join the Federation or they just remain allies and partners like the Klingon Empire. I am disheartened by the attitude of my Cardassian colleague and his insistence on muddying the waters here.
I spent the last 4 more days better pressing better.
That's the captain's best shot.
Good job, Captain.
All right, I'm going to speed things up here so we can kind of finish this. We're going to change scenes, so you're going to go down on momentum. After a while, the delegations eventually return, and you see the first speaker. There we go. Comes walking out with another gentleman who kind of stands behind him, holding what appears to be like a tricorder device. You know, monitoring him. I'm going to spend what I have left. And I'm going to do this kind of randomly. As we advance to the next trigger real quick. Um,
And so it's a spider web. The big one. Oh, I know. Like smashed in between. I did not do any
do it this way.
Nice. You were just a perfect connection. I only have a hand.
As they come on the speaker, he sits down. I have gone over the proposals that everyone has petitioned to us and talked with the other leaders here. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. While my current sudden illness, I thank all of you for staying. To the esteemed Cardassians, we do not believe we will continue any further relations nor any delegations with you. It seems that your people are quick to judge others for their actions. To the Ferengi, your offer was most intriguing. However, we do not value your monetary style of profit gaining. It seems that you would quickly try to take advantage of us. Perhaps when your people are a bit more enlightened, we could do business with you in the future. If the Cardassian and Ferengi delegation, if both of you could leave. I am sorry we have upsetted you on this. I hope in time that our two people could engage in negotiations again in the future. I hope this doesn't sour future relationships or chances to speak with you. And he kind of stiffens up and gives a nod and walks out. As he seems a bit irritated.
Burn.
I'm sorry you feel this way, first speaker. but I assure you we were attempting to do trade with you honestly. We understand your values and culture. Perhaps a more lucrative deal. Was the gift not satisfactory? I can offer many other things for you if you would reconsider. I am sorry. We will unfortunately cut ties with you for the time being. That is most regrettable, first speaker. Thank you for your hospitality. Kamji, we are leaving here. And the two leave. The offer you presented us, Captain, is quite intriguing. However, I do not think it is in our best interest at this time to have a station to be constructed near our space. Our people may seem this as a hostile act, and while our people wish to avoid cultural contamination, I will have to reject your offer.
The cat protests.
Sorry.
Knox is gonna give him puppy dog eyes. I mean, that's the last resort that a Scotswoman has, but she'll try it. Like, really? We
That
liked
is-
your food.
That is an understandable response for a speaker. I hope that you will still be open to conducting trade with the Federation.
Perhaps in the future. But please, don't be disillusioned by our decision here. He is being very vocal.
Well, because
Cat
this
does not
is an
like your
aquatic-
choice, there, Prax.
Yeah, fish have been mentioned, so and there was fish in the buffet. He knew, or she knew. Cats know.
He's currently trying to curry favor with me, so he wants something.
Fish.
Perhaps, as he looks to the envoy, we will give you a parting gift, Captain. In the future, I would hope that our two people could get to know each other better. She walks around and kind of hands you a small box. And does a slight
Captain
bow.
will accept it with a bow of equal depth.
Like some. They're better eat.
If you could excuse us, Captain, I need to speak with the other two delegates. Thank you for your time.
Of course, for speaker, we appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
And may the tides be in your favor.
May the wind always fill your sails. He will lead his party out. And I suppose once we're out of the room, we'll return to the ship.
It was a logical offer that you gave them, Captain. Regrettable that they did not take it.
What's in the box?
I figured it would be uncouth to open it here.
Right. No, we'll open it on the ship.
I really like.
Cox says, Captain, did you need that batleth that we had ready for you?
No, I'll take it back to my core. I'll take it back to my office with me. I'm sure it'll
Right,
come in
sir.
handy eventually.
All right, sir. Here it is. And he hands it to you.
And Perone will look and see what the gift is.
Knox is excitedly waiting to see what the gift is as well.
As you open the box, as you look at the box, it's definitely an ordained box. It's quite nice. Has a kind of a almost aquatic vibe to it. When you open it, there's like a soft, sort of squishy coral type pad, and what appears to be sort of like a data chip in the center.
Well, I'm going to assume that the pad is designed for this data chip, and we'll have a look at it here. I mean, might as well let the two officers that came with him get to see what we our consolation prize was.
The box is nice.
The as you insert the data chip, a sort of holographic type form speaks up, and it's an image of an individual as he starts reciting the ritual scriptures of the Calvorians.
Perhaps studying this will give us greater insight into their culture.
Aye. Maybe it's like what Picard had to do in memorizing a whole thing for some alien species.
I think the gift was intended very much for that purpose, for us to learn more about them,
Yes.
much like our gift was intended for them.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it when you're done.
GM, did they give me the recipe that I asked for?
They did.
Okay. And Solak says, I will study this recipe further myself. Most interesting.
It's good. Not as good as my grandmother's shepherd's pie.
Perhaps a fusion of the recipes?
Well, there's nothing saying you can't have a little octopus on the side of your shepherd's pie, is there now? I've never heard such a rule. Knox is
Very
that
interesting.
that was interesting.
Well, it's about time we made our way to the bridge, and we have been dismissed by the Calvarians. It's time we left their space.
I wonder if they dismissed everybody. They just called them all over for a buffet and to see what they were all about.
That is certainly possible. We'll find out in time, though, if they are making arrangements with either the Klingons, the Valerians, or both.
Aye.
Nope, Perone's going to head to the bridge.
Yeah,
Solak will go to engineering.
Yeah, she's gonna head for the bridge too, so she'll follow the boss on the way up.
When he gets to the bridge, he's going to order the helmsman to set a course out of Calvarian space at 3/4 impulse. Wants to see if the delegations for the Klingons and the Valerians also return to their ships and leave.
As you slowly leave Calvorian space. Jeez, cat, flop on the floor like that. You notice on your sensors that the Ferengi and Cardassians left right away. In time, the Klingons eventually left, and the Valerians stayed behind. For a bit longer before leaving. Is there anything you else like to do before we close out the session?
No, he wanted to slow roll his way out to see who won the contract. So how the system will.
This was quite a learning experience in diplomacy, sir.
With that, I think we will call that the end of Shadows in the Hall of Concord.